Tell me when we're live. You mean we're live on the show now?
I
Well,
think so.
well, you see that's what happens, Ellie, when it's our 13th show.
Yeah.
So I apologize for that. It's 13, and Scotty reminded me of that. It's not Friday the 13th, it's Sunday, our 13th show. So everybody, welcome to Beyond the Court. I'm Sudsy, obviously. John Ellis, Ellie Style, representing right here. Little BMC, Beast Made, Legendary Clothing by Jake Brennebeck. And welcome to Beyond the Court. This is our 13th show. We're so happy that you're here to join us. It's a super, super important evening. Obviously, you have the Vegas World Championships coming up in 2 weeks. It's the outdoor event. It's the three-wall. You know, the racquetball world is super excited, and we're going to have Peggine, we're going to have Mike Coulter, and we're going to talk about that. So, Ellie, you know, what do you think about that, buddy?
Yeah, this is an exciting topic. We've literally been talking about Vegas for about a month and a half, 2 months in terms of our show here since almost the beginning. So here we are now having this conversation tonight, and it comes a little bit on the heels of some announcements about what the players and what the fans can expect. And there's some tough announcements with that, but, kind of as to be expected with COVID here. So we'll have some conversations. I know you and I are both extremely positive about this event. You're going to play 3 events. I don't even know if you know what you're getting yourself into with 3 events in outdoor racquetball, buddy. But I'm going to definitely watch it. I'm looking forward to tuning in for the weekend. And so let's have an exciting show tonight about a topic that's really important for a lot of tournament players.
Yeah, we have Peggine and Mike in the waiting room. Scotty Mac's going to bring them in a second. And before we get started, there's always a little kind of chat, Ellie, and quite honestly, I didn't prepare anything tonight. Just some of the current events I see. You and I have been friends for over 35 years, and one thing we never let get in the way is difference of opinions. And whether it's politics, whether it's religion, whether it's just doing the right or wrong thing, we always have each other's back, and we make sure that when the dust settles, that we're still friends and we're still boys, and we're able to communicate to each other what we like, what we dislike, what we agree with, what we don't agree with. But, here we are, and, that never gets in the way. And, that's super important, and that's super meaningful to me. You've been someone that's very important in my life and my career in racquetball. And I hope I had that same impression on you, whether it's, from afar, whether it's close up. We spent tons of time close together also. And, here we are getting back on the courts, and racquetball's back. And, there's a lot of people out there that, for whatever reason, they don't want to go to this event out in Vegas. And we're not judging. We understand, like, who are we to judge? Who are you to judge? Right? That's your choice. You don't have to go if you don't want to. It would be great to have you there. We're going to miss you if you're not there. We'll be thinking of you if you're not there. And if you are there, we're going to be smart. We're going to do what we should, and we're going to follow directions and hope that it's just a great event. And that's totally what I expect. I expect it to be a fantastic event. And, the people that we're going to have on tonight, we're going to have Peggine, we're going to have Mike Coulter, who, Ellie, we have a history with, as Mike's always been a fantastic promoter out in Vegas. And then we're going to have some great outdoor players, which you set up, and that's super exciting too. So, I'm sure they're going to have, I'm going to pick their brain a little bit, and maybe they're going to throw some shots at me to get me ready and get me inspired about this event. And that's it. So we're really looking forward to it in 2 weeks. And we hope you are too. And we hope you join the challenge, right? Like, join the Vegas challenge. It's real simple. And we'll talk about that more, and you'll see, the app or the commercial. But you're just going to download the app, subscribe to exclusive. Then you're going to pick your 5 winners. And Ellie and I will be definitely talking about that a lot more next week as we get closer to it. But you have a chance to win $1,000 and also gain some super knowledge for yourself. So with that, Scotty Mac, you're in the back. Let's bring in Mike Coulter and Peggine Tellez. And I think Rick Soderman should be with us. There is Peggine. Beautiful. I love it. Hi, Peggine. We're coming in. Let's get Mike connected to audio and Rick. And I don't see their cameras. I also see Peggine's connecting to audio. There he is, Rick. All right. I like it. I like the background too. Let's just wait. Let's get Mike in here, and then we're good to go. Peggine, can you hear me okay? I can't hear you.
You're on mute, Peggine. You got to unmute yourself. Left corner. There you
Unmute,
go.
everybody unmute yourselves. Mike, MC, I don't see you, buddy. There you are. Beautiful. This is excellent. Mike, can you hear me? Rick,
I can hear you good. Thank you.
You can hear me, Peggine?
Yep, I can hear you.
Hey, this is fantastic. And just from seeing the crew, you know, we start like this. Cheers to you three, all right? That's first and foremost. We appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. Cheers to that. So let's get right to it. Rick, I know you'll be back. No worries. So Mike, Peggine, Rick, you know, we know you're working incredibly hard. Mike, MC, you know, Ellie and I are going to call Mike Coulter MC. That's how we know him for many, many years. He's been a tremendous supporter of racquetball. He's put on to me. People ask me to this day, you know, what's your favorite event? And Mike, I'm telling you now, it's still Vegas. But, you know, we'll talk about that later on.
Good. You can do a complete show on that. Back when you guys were young, back in the 90s, you and John just getting out of your teenage years and having a good time. But yeah, that's another complete show by itself, no doubt.
Yeah, that's going to be later at night. But, you know, you guys, first off, I want to say this. Thank you so much, Mike, Peggine, Rick. You know, you guys making this event happen is so important for racquetball. And, you know, like, I don't know if you know it, to me and Ellie, we've been here for years. This is one of the most historical events in the history of our sport. You know, it's that big of a deal. And the fact that you guys and Peggine, you're pulling this off and you're going to make this happen. Thank you so much. You know, not just for me, but like for the sport, whether people can come or can't come, you're going through hell right now. You know, COVID has knocked the entire world on its ass. And here you are, MC and Peggine and your crew, and you're making this happen. And I know you're nonstop. MC, I know you guys are building the courts as we speak. I know you're putting them up in the parking lot. So, Mike, I'm going to start with you. And Peggine, of course, I want you to, you know, chime in this, both of you. But Mike, you know, so what's it like going through COVID, but making this event happen? And ultimately, what was the decision that made you and your team say, we're doing the event?
Okay, first I'd like to say, hey, Sudsy and John, great job on doing this show. Got the chance to watch a few of the different episodes live and then a couple of them later, but you guys are doing a great thing for racquetball. It's great to see some of the old time players back here, coming back out and supporting the game again and doing stuff. Like I said, just love all the stuff. The fact that, you know, I grew up in the days of Hogan and Harnett and Pex and all those guys. So with that said, I'll leave it at that, but thank you very much for the job you guys are doing with the show. The biggest thing that I could honestly say is because I didn't like somebody telling me, no, I couldn't do it. So they put a wall up in front of us, and we've been trying since the beginning to figure out how to climb over the top of it, go around it, go through it. They keep moving the wall around. As you really said, the biggest hassle of this whole thing has been the government keeps changing the rules all the time. This isn't a Las Vegas problem. It's not a Nevada problem. It's not a U.S. problem. It's a worldwide problem. And we're doing everything we can to keep people informed as much as possible what's going on. Things keep moving. It's a moving target. But I didn't want to quit. You know, I mean, honestly, 5 times a day for the last 3 months, I have said to myself, this one's too tough. We shouldn't do the event. But then I go back to all the people that have come out and have a great time at the event. Like you said, it's a unique event. It's kind of like the Super Bowl of outdoors. Next to the U.S. Open, we are the U.S. Open outdoors. Doug has done a phenomenal job for 25 years with the U.S. Open indoors. We've tried to duplicate it and create a great event outdoors. And if you're there during the daytime, it's one experience. If you're there at nighttime, it's another experience. So we've just wanted everybody to come out and have a good time. Just because we're going to have some restrictions by the courts, don't fool yourself. That's at the courts. You can still go to the hotel. You can go to the pool. You can go to the restaurants. You can go to the bars. Everything about Vegas is still here, but it's just a little bit scaled back right now. But I think everybody wants the break. We've got a record number of racquetball players signed up for this year. You know, we've had a handful of people drop because it doesn't fit into their comfort zone, is the way I'll put it. But Peggine and Rick will go over that stuff a little bit more later on. But I just wanted to make sure that I have a phenomenal team that's done this. From Steve Lerner in the beginning to Hank Marcus being involved to other tournament directors that have been there, Vic Lebowski. You know, we've had a lot of people that interact on a yearly basis. The only one that's still always here, obviously Rick and myself here in Vegas, but we have a lot of people that help out. This is a team effort to make it happen. So
Yeah.
next question.
Yeah, Mike. No, Mike, that's well said. I mean, you've always surrounded yourself with amazing people. You know, I was thinking of Bruce earlier today, and we'll talk about that later. But you know, Peggine, I know your phone is blowing up like crazy. I know the messages are going like crazy. And by the way, thank you, because your communication, you know, with the emails and keeping everybody informed is top notch. It's honestly, no offense to any tournament director that I've ever dealt with, and there's been a couple. It's been like the most informative. I don't have many questions, but I text you or ask you personally. So tell us a little bit about what Mike said, which is, I know that the peak or the amount we can have is 600 entries. You know, so tell us first, where are we at today? But I also want to know a little bit of the negative shit that nobody really wants to talk about, which is, yeah, this is like a PG-13 show because it's late night. So how many people really have dropped out for their, as Mike said, personal choice, which Mike, I agree with you. That's their choice, whatever, how many have we lost or gained, and what's it been like for you?
Oh, golly, wait a minute. There you go. There's the hair. It's completely insane right now. Thank you guys so much for having us on, giving us an opportunity to speak directly with the folks, for the tournament, our handball players, our racquetball players, our paddleball players. And like Mike said so eloquently, this really is a team effort, and by far and away, one of the hardest tournaments in his career of running events and in my career of running events. But that being said, to answer your question, we've had 24 players decide that this just isn't the right thing for them. Completely understand it. I mean, everybody has to make those choices based on the restrictions we're currently living under, which are so varied from state to state, county to county. You live in Texas or Florida or California, completely different. Ohio, completely different from Nevada. So we've had 24 players drop out of the tournament. But we've had at least 35 players take their place. So we really are above the numbers we were when we first made these announcements, September the 30th. So that's the answer to your question. Our handball community, obviously they love to be able to support each other, have their families there, family affair, big time. We're just not able to do that. Our racquetball folks, it's family affair. This is an opportunity for us to get together and find some semblance of normalcy. It's just going to look a little different this year. We all kind of have to just pull together, make it happen, stay safe for each other.
Now, I appreciate hearing that from you, Peggy. It's nice to see you, and nice to hear your voice, and nice to talk to you. We go way back here in California. So that was an informative piece that came out on September 30th. And obviously you see on some of the social media, a little bit of quick reaction from some of the players, sometimes a little negative, some understanding and positive about the reaction as well. My question is, like, how much has that changed over the last month leading into it to where you felt like, okay, we have to put this announcement out now, even though it's only, 2.5, 3 weeks from the event? So talk a little bit about that, because I don't think people understand that it's just moving constantly right now. And, why wait until September 30th, if not doing a little earlier, or even, you guys could have waited another week, I suppose, right?
No.
Okay.
Great question. Okay, so let me see if I break this down the right way for you and answer it properly and accurately. We were understand moving target, huge moving target. In fact, what we put out on the 30th, I'm just going to say that right now, has also changed, because on the 30th, different interpretations came out, and we were able to expand what we originally thought we were going to be able to do. So we have updated information where we thought people weren't going to be able to stay on the side after they played. Yes, and I'll get into that in a second. So timeline. We've been working on this, obviously, since the week after last year's tournament. That's about how long this event goes. With the US Open, how long it takes to actually craft that particular event. This event is no different. It is massive, and it's 3 sports, 2 different disciplines in each of the sports, 3 wall and 1 wall. Okay, that's the nuts and bolts. So we're trying to follow what the county's regulations are going to be and how we might be able to work our way into approvals under the county regulations. September 16th, we got told the permitting process dropped in our laps. Something we weren't expecting. And at that time is when we figured out, oh, guess what? We're not under county rules. We're under City of Las Vegas rules. Oh, and it gets better. It's not just City of Las Vegas rules. We actually have to have the state of Nevada's approval before we can get our city permits. So we had to become subject matter experts in a matter of 48 hours and submit a game plan. Game plan included spectators. As you guys all know, the NASCAR race came and went. The Raiders game, opening in their brand new stadium, came and went. The state didn't give them a variance for spectators. Clearly, they weren't going to give our smaller event any kind of a variance for spectators. Disappointing, absolutely, because we want our people to come and watch. We prided ourselves on allowing people to be able to watch championship, pro-level matches on our championship courts, spectating, hanging around the courts, hanging out with their friends. That's our experience, but that's not to be this year. In order to get our state approval, we had to submit our game plan with no spectators. Bummer, believe me. But September 29th, happy birthday. We got an elevation from a 50-person capacity to a 250-person capacity. We can work with that. We can work with that. So if everybody pulls together, all of our players are going to be able to come onto the site, play their matches, stay and observe those matches. But if we hit our capacity in the competition area, the court area, we will have to ask some people to leave until we can get under our cap. And then folks will be able to come back in as long as we stay under our cap. And I know you guys can do this. And I know it's not exactly how we all want it to be, but this is our current normal. And I know that there's tons of fun to be had. We'll get to see each other at the hotel, hang out, socialize, see our family. It's just not going to be in the fashion.
I'm just going to come and hang out with Mike. That's all I know.
Yeah, 10 years we've been doing it one way.
I haven't seen him in so long. I miss him. Ellie, I know you had a question. Go ahead, bud.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm taking everything in that Peggine's saying, and sounds like you were getting to the end of that explanation from the first question right there. But for me, I think this is going to be the popular question because it sounds like well, let's ask this first. Describe the court situation, the court scene. How many courts are there so that we can get an idea? I know some know, but I'm, someone who hasn't been to the Vegas event yet, and I will get there eventually, and I hope you continue to do it year in and year out. But, how many? Okay, here we go. So let me just ask it first.
You're coming this year. If Mike and I have to come to Stockton and drag you out of your house, you're coming. But yeah, I do. I want Mike to explain, what you expect to see in the courts, like
exactly
as far as the arrangement and.
Perfect. Yeah, right now we're looking at building anywhere between 17 to 19 courts based on how many people will be at the event and how many people want to play 3-wall as opposed to 1-wall in the racquetball, the handball, and doing that. And that's what we did last year. Last year we had actually 19 courts built. We might not need quite as many for the 1-wall courts, and we're actually looking at eliminating 2 1-wall courts to open up the area because of the rules of being able to keep social distancing. So that's the big thing that's there. But yeah, we started building a couple of days ago. We have the material to have 19 courts on property at any time. And, if this ever keeps growing the same way, we actually had where we're going to limit to 750 this year. But with all this COVID stuff that came down, we actually lowered it down to only 600. So the people that get signed up can enjoy themselves. And that's the best part about the 3-wall ball part. You asked why I started. You didn't really get the question of why I started. I started this because the club started closing up and they didn't have any indoor courts here in Vegas other than 5 in one location. I was used to the pro nationals we did, as you guys know, back in the 90s, where we had 600 and 700 players all the time. I enjoy everybody having a good time, and we could build 30 courts out there if we wanted to. So that's the awesome part of this whole thing.
So Mike, I have a question. Now, you've always been a straight shooter. I've known you for well over 20 years. If I ask you something, even if you think I might not like the answer, you're going to tell me, and I appreciate that, and thank you. And I support you and your event. What year is this of your event? That's the first question.
This is year number 11.
Okay, so this is the 11th year. So tell me, but more importantly, tell your players, the handball players, the paddleball players, the racquetball players, what will they see different, right? So I'm coming. I don't care if you told me it was just me, you, Peggine, and Ellie. I'm coming to play in this event. I'll be there. So
Right.
what should we expect different from, you know, players that have been there for all the years? You know, other than the masks and all that nonsense, like you know, I don't know, in layman's terms.
Sure. Well, the biggest thing that's happened is the social distancing. So the first thing is we never charged anybody to watch any of the event. Watching all the pro matches was always free. Okay. Watching all the amateurs play was always free. We actually set it up almost like a tailgating party and allowed people to bring their own personal pop-up tents and put them 10 feet behind the courts and have shaded areas to sit in and watch the tournament. Over in the championship court area, we rented a set of bleachers that sat 300 people. And behind that, we also have what are almost like skyboxes, which we will still have for where this live stream is going to be done, sitting up on top of a Connex box, if you know what that is, for shipping containers. So it's used for storage under there, but it's a complete shipping container. So the streaming will be done from about 8 feet up in the air, looking down at the courts. So with that said, there was no reason to spend the $3,000 we spend on renting the bleachers when only 50% or less of the people had been able to sit in them. So it was a waste of money. So what we did was we turned around and rented 400 chairs instead, that we can strategically spread out at 6 feet apart for people to be able to still sit in while they're waiting to play and do stuff. And one of the things that's helpful that Peggy didn't get the chance to explain was that the players that are on the court playing, we have to move the back line or the fence back, which is only a 4-foot high fence, but it's back 20 feet and allows the players that are in the tournament are the spectators. Okay. So it's not a non-player in the tournament. It's the players that are in the tournament. Instead of kicking them right out, they would be part of watching the matches being played. So we will have that there. Instead of having tents directly behind it, it's going to be 25 feet back. And that way there's no individual tents allowed this year, but we will have chairs for people to watch selected matches as it's going on.
Now, it sounds like with the number of courts MC and Peggine, and this for either one of you, you know, you're going to have less than 100 players on the court at any one time, especially if there's some singles going from, if you have 17 to 19 courts, you know, that's rough. I'm doing a little bit of rough math there, plus your staff, and that's somewhere probably around 100. And you said, I think, Peggine, that 250 is the mark inside the gates for any given time. Is that correct?
Okay.
That
Good
250
question.
total.
I'll jump in there, Peggy. Peggy, let me answer that, please.
No problem.
John, one of the things that helps is the people on the courts that are playing and the referees do not count against our total.
That's lovely. So that then adds it.
Yeah,
Right,
absolutely. And that's
right.
one of the things that ends up changing as we keep trying to break down the barriers to find out what's going on. They let us know a little bit more information all the time.
Can we have like 10 linesmen, MC? Can we have like one
two
ref?
linesmen? Yeah, well, we already know a couple matches. There's going to be more. We're not going to have a problem finding referees this year. I think that's the first thing to say in linesmen. Everybody's going to be volunteering to be able to sit there and watch those matches.
By the way, win or lose, I'm not reffing. So please get a ref for me.
How much you pay for that?
Shocker, Sudsy.
Pay us.
Well, so that's a huge thing, MC. So I'm glad I asked that. You saw the path I was going down here. I'm glad I asked that because now you're talking about 250 players that aren't on court. And with the numbers that you guys are at right now, I know roughly around 400, right? Is that correct for the whole event, or where are we at for the entire
we're
thing?
550.
Okay. I just been looking at the racquetball one.
Wait,
So
say that again. Where are we at?
We're almost 550 in all three sports.
but all
Awesome.
three sports. So when you factor in the players on the court, full court, full lineup of courts being played at once, the players that don't need to be there because they're getting ready for their matches in the hotel, it's starting to get clear. And I think this is going to be really exciting for players making the event. That right number at 250 is probably a good number for the players that got nothing to do, that want to watch that match, that Sudsy and Alex versus Kane and Ben first round match. No, I'm kidding. That would never happen. But that, either one of those two teams and any of the number of great teams that we have, or just the regular amateur divisions. So that's a huge thing. I think that's a huge announcement right now to be able to understand, so I guess the question is, you're going to have that moment where Kane's going to be on the court with Ben and the guy who's not losing for a long time now is playing, and everyone's going to want to watch those matches live if possible. What happens if you do get to that 250 mark? Where are you going to go with who gets out first? I mean, who you asking to leave?
Question. Mike, can I
Go
answer
ahead,
that
Dave.
one? Can I answer that one?
Sure.
Okie dokie. Don't forget, I know everybody wants to watch select professional matches. We get that. And that's why we've made an arrangement with the Strat Hotel, PT Wings. They have a beautiful back bar area, gorgeous, huge screens, food and beverage service, it's air conditioned. Yes, it has a capacity of 50 people at this time. Nevada Gaming Control Board is in charge of their capacities. And if between now and the time our event starts, those numbers get increased, yay, great, even better for us. But right now, we know we have that as an outlet for our players to watch the streamed pro matches that are being done by the LPRT and the IRT networks. The other thing is to remember, there will be a limited number of people that will be remotely able to be in the championship court area at the match because of the social distancing situation. You can only have so many people in a very confined situation, 6 feet apart. And that's the way it has to be. How we will deal with getting under the cap is this. People who are playing their matches, obviously, they don't count. People that are have an immediate upcoming match, those people are going to have a priority. Anybody else after that is subject to being cleared off of the site until we can get under our cap and we can bring folks back in. But clearly, the next rotation of matches, handball, racquetball, paddleball, will have precedence. That's another 100 players. So it leaves us about 150 people still on the court area. We just have to remember we can't bunch up around that championship court. The risks are too high, health-wise for our players, health-wise for our staff, and regulatory-wise, the fine is between $7,000 and $25,000, and we just can't risk it. So I hope everybody understands we are going to have to be very selective, be patient.
No, Peggine, you don't listen. I mean, my part, and if I'm speaking to all the racquetball players that are going, whether, obviously I'm not connected to the handball players other than being born and raised in New York City, but, we get it. Like everybody, we're all doing things that maybe we like or we don't like, but the fact that we're able to go to Vegas and we're able to play in your event and MC, you've been in this sport for, God, over 25 years. And like, you're doing what others aren't. So thank you for that. And like, I think we'll figure it out, Peggine. So don't stress it, but also know, and I know you guys know this, you're going to get a ton of crap because people are going to want to do this and break rules and blah, blah, blah. But MC, I know MC's, he doesn't mess around when it comes to that. And he's going to be strict. And, that kind of leads into the next question. But this is just my marketing advice, Mike. If we could get the old sporting house to put up some screens and maybe watch the matches, it might be filled up. Anyway, moving past that. So, what MC, what is the plan? For those of you that don't know, Mike, MC with the white hat, he's the owner of the event, the promoter of the event. He's a good friend to us, to racquetball for many years. What's the plan to like kind of police the event? And move people in and out, because let's be honest, that's going to suck, right? Like you're going to have to look people in the face that many years and be like, you got to go. Sorry.
Already had to do it many a times that, everybody's your best buddy and wants special favors and what's there. And, I've got a coach, I've got my cousin, I've got my friends, when I have to come see this first time, I said, well, they'll have to be watching it on the live stream. We have created 2 different platforms on live streaming to get to see it. And, one of the things that I also want to touch on, remember, this tournament starts at 7 in the morning and goes until usually midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. So people are spread out throughout the whole day to be getting these matches in. We start on Thursday morning at 7 in the morning, and we're usually done by Sunday night at 3 o'clock in the afternoon for everybody to be heading back out of town. There's been a couple of years where we've played till 2 and 3 in the morning, and we start again at 7 o'clock in the morning. So people will get spread out of doing it, but I mean, you can go back to the days of the late 80s and early 90s when you can go back and remember when Houston used to have a tournament, nationals, where they had all these people with so many courts that were played around the court. As you said, the sporting house days back in the 90s, we had 10 courts at the sporting house and the athletic club had another 10 courts down the street. And we literally played around the clock because we had 700 players in the tournament. And when I say players, they also played doubles and some of them played a third event. So we had, 12 to 1,500 matches that have to get squeezed into so many days. Same thing happens here. There's going to be a ton of people playing. The majority of people that play in this event, almost everybody plays a minimum of 2 events, and some of them will play 3. Robert Solstry, a guy from New York, in the beginning, he used to kill himself. He'd play racquetball, paddleball, and handball. We had to actually limit, because of him, down to only 4 different divisions, because he's playing everything and he's a good enough athlete in everything he's doing. And we did him a favor, because the very first year we did it, he was in the finals of 3 of the events and won 2 of them, and then lost in the semis in the other one. So it's an example of how much effort and time it takes, but you're out there having a good time. So remember, this will be spread out from 7 in the morning till midnight or so each night, with all these people playing, getting to come back and go to the hotel, enjoying all the other spots that are there. Yes, the biggest problem we're going to have is you did touch on, when Kane's playing, everybody's going to want to see that. And that's going to be a tough one. People that are there are going to be able to get to watch it, and we're going to be live streaming it. So you'll be able to check it out on your app and doing some other things. Not everybody's going to be able to be there. That would be probably almost the same problem we had even in non-COVID times, having 600 to 700 people being here. And if they would have brought all their family and friends, there was times where we had 700, 800, 900 people on the site. And it really gets crazy on the handball side too. If you go back and watch a couple videos there, we've had 300 and 400 people around the championship courts just watching that. And this year we've unfortunately got to limit that just to still try and host the event. So yes, it is going to be a tough thing to say, these people, you can't be in that area, and it's going to be limited to that. But at the same time, we've never charged anybody to watch, and we don't want to start charging. It was letting everybody watch, but it's based on the first come, first serve on what's there. Obviously, there's a couple of sponsors that'll be up in the skybox where the streaming's done from, and the announcers that are up there. But those are the, be honest, the people that actually pay for the big money to help sponsor the event. They'll get a little bit more priority over making it happen, but everybody else will be based on hopefully rotating numbers.
Mike, before, I know Ellie has a couple of questions, but real quick, tell everybody, because you live in Vegas, like, what's different right now about Vegas? And because we see things on the news, and we, I know like clubs are dance clubs and all that stuff is closed. I know it's very different.
So you just say, you mean what, strip clubs are closed? Yes, the strip clubs are closed.
A bunch of the rippers are completely closed, guys.
Don't beat around the bush. But yeah, I mean, unfortunately, we've lost so many major events.
Yeah, like what should tourists expect, like, to see different about Vegas?
Right now, the hotels are only at 50 to 60% capacity, so they don't have all the rooms opened up.
That's
all
not
the
a
live
bad thing.
shows, huh?
That's not a bad thing, as far as I'm concerned.
No, it's not. All the live shows that are usually here right now, live shows aren't. The Mystere shows, things like that aren't in place. Like you said in the start of the show, we had the brand new $2 billion Raider Stadium that was built. No fans are allowed in there. So the foot traffic during the week is probably at about 35 to 40%. And on the weekends, we're up to maybe 60, 65% capacity, but we're just not able to have the same volume in there. The hotel has 2,000, I think, 100 rooms. They're only allowed to sell 1,000 of those rooms. They cannot make use of the rest of them. So it won't be quite as crowded. As you go into some of the gaming areas, they've done major things to protect everybody's safety. There's plexiglass shields, there's social distancing, there's markings.
I'll check that out. Yeah, listen, I mean, anybody that's watching MC, you guys are racquetball players, you're handball players, you're paddleball players. Get to this event. Are you crazy? Like, this is an opportunity of a lifetime. Like,
there's only 50 spaces left.
Just be part of it, and like Peggine said, there's 50 spaces left. I think you're crazy if you're not there. So Ellie, I know. Go ahead, Ellie. I know.
Yeah, I only have one Vegas question, with everything, and I'll start off by saying something first, and that's, I think this call is really important, and I'm happy you guys are on our show, of course. But if it was on another show, and there's a couple others out there, it would have been just as equally as important. And that is, you're going to need the cooperation of the players. You're going to need them to understand that, if you really aren't playing anytime soon, watch the matches from the online, watch the matches from a few of the setup situations in the hotel, and make it easier on the tournament staff to not have to have multiple moments throughout the day where they've got to run some players from the court. So that's a comment to them out there. But I think everyone's going to want to know, and just, it's kind of a funny question. Is like, how much do you expect the city of Las Vegas or the state of Nevada to actually monitor this event? I mean, it's right out there at the end of the strip on the street. So I assume a lot, but I mean, do you expect them to be around checking some racquetball out?
Yeah, I expect them not so much to check out the racquetball, but just to check for compliance. That's the biggest thing. There are a number of circumstances that have occurred in Las Vegas. People wanting to do what they want to do.
All right.
We all know about that one. And guess what? Fines have happened. They happen after the fact. So people report, take photographs of overcapacity situations, send it on to OSHA. OSHA goes ahead and says, oh, you're the one with the permit, MC. Guess what? We're going to fine you. And the fines are substantial. Unless somebody wants to open up their checkbook, we just can't risk it. So yes, enforcement is huge. They have ambassadors who go around to the bars, to the restaurants, to the casinos, to the special events that have decided to go ahead and push forward. And they do safety checks. See if we're all doing social distancing. Are we wearing our masks? Are we temperature checking? Are we doing the COVID questioning? Are we doing all of the things that we say that we're going to do in order to host a kind of event that we're getting ready to put on? The answer is yes. Enforcement will be out there. So this is not something to be taken lightly. And I appreciate you give us the opportunity to say that. But that being said, honestly, all we want is everybody to enjoy themselves and be able to go back home, no worse for wear, hold a safe event for everybody, and show our communities, our world, that we can actually do competitions in a safe fashion. And I know everybody out there wants to have a good time. We're really looking forward to seeing you guys.
I vote for Peggine. Go ahead, Ellie.
Can I add one more thing to that, John, before you go to the next question?
Please do, Mike. Please do.
Yeah. What I'd like to say is one of the things that's comparable to, if you look on social media, how Hawaii is a great example of that right now. People in Hawaii have gotten ticketed and gotten arrested after the fact because they've come in there to be under self-quarantine for 14 days. And people are posting pictures on social media. And here in the state of Nevada, what it's called is a referral. And the referrals have been given to OSHA, and they come back and fine people for doing the things they've done. And those people in the pictures have had fines passed on back to them. So we're doing it for their protection as well as ours, because obviously everybody that's in there, but we didn't go into everything, but it's one of those things. Hey, if you just follow the rules, there's not really going to be a problem. But we don't want anybody to get fined. I don't want to get fined. We're trying to do something for people to have fun and go back to somewhat things that we all know and have done for years, but that's not happening in very many places. So we're asking for everybody to please cooperate with this so we can have an event and hopefully get to do this again in the future again next year. And I'll just leave it at that.
He's not here right now, but I know Rick Sodaman Cole plays a huge role in this. And I was introduced to Sodaman at one of the last professional IRT doubles tournaments that I played. It was at the club, I think, that had 5 courts there, and I was involved in helping run the event. CPRT might have been there as well. And he was an indoor player. And then I ran a couple of outdoor events with my boy Steve Cook in Huntington Beach. And now next thing you know, Rick, his body's changing and he's becoming an outdoor player. Now he's a great outdoor player. So tell him what he means to the event for you guys.
I've been friends with Rick now for about 11 years, 12 years. He loved it. He loved the outdoor part of it. He loved the indoor part of it. He got to playing some ball with us when Harnett was still playing on a regular basis. And he just loves the outdoor game. And, he was a football player, basketball player, and doing everything. We've fallen in love with this. And as Peggine said, it's a year-round thing. We go down to California and play all the time. Rick travels around the country probably as much as any pro or amateur just to go and play and have a good time. Because as much as you guys got to make a living playing pro racquetball outdoors is not to that level yet. Now, with that said, we do still here at our event have almost $25,000 in prize money spread out, but it's spread out to 9 different divisions. In the men's, women's, and mixed doubles divisions being the best. And Rick's gotten good enough where he plays with Rhonda Racich a lot of times. And he's won some of the tournaments with her. And he's gotten Alvy last year to pick up as his partner there, and he's won that. And he gives it a good run in the men's pro division. So plus he's as big as a wall, as you know. So if you run into him, it's a little tough getting around him.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
He's a huge part of it and a huge supporter of it. And he's constantly happy. He's actually on his way back from California. He went down there to practice. He played with Emmett, Mike Orr, and Alvaro yesterday down in San Diego to be getting ready for this, because we don't have outdoor courts here that are the same size what's there, but that's another story and another topic for a different time.
So
and hold on, I know Rick would say this right now because he's been itching to say this, so I'm going to say it for him. We have some of the deepest draws we have seen in our 11-year history. This is crazy. The pro draws, the CPRT draws, the women's draws, the mixed draws. These draws are deep. Yes, they're going to be single elimination, the elites, the open, the A's, the B's for the men. But these are some of the deepest draws you're going to see in a long time in our sport. We've got some great players coming. The women's draws are insane this year. We're going to see some really, really great mixed doubles matches as well. So we're super excited about that. And I know Rick wanted me to make sure to say deep draws, come out and see them.
Yeah, there's no doubt, Peggine, that the draws are insane. I mean, obviously I like to play a little bit, but I'm also a big fan. I'm very pissed that my wife can't come out and play with me because she's an incredible outdoor player too. But we got 2 kids now, so we're gonna get to the end. Let you both get out of here. But before we do that, I want to hear from both of you. So Peggine, we're gonna start with you first.
Yeah.
What would you tell everybody that's coming, not coming, or on the fence about coming?
Oh golly, if you're coming, get ready, buckle up. This is going to be a hell of an event. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit different than we've seen in the past. Hopefully next year we'll get back to normal, but this is going to be a hell of an event. If you're on the fence, you got about 50 spaces left to get in. And if you're not joining us, dang, we're going to miss you this year. We have a lot of our family members for personal reasons, one reason or another. We get it. We understand. This just may not be the event for you this year. We respect that completely, but you're seriously missed. Just know, for all the folks that we aren't going to be able to see this year, we miss you. You're still part of this, and we hope to see you next year.
MC, what would you say? But Mike, I'm sorry. Before you answer that, I do have a real important influencer in our sport wants to know if they need like media credentials. Can we make that happen where they're going to be there to promote the sport? If you guys need, if I can help to verify the fact that they're there to really promote the sport, we can talk offline. Can you make that happen for them?
We can talk about it offline. We've had so many requests already, and had a number of people that are already committed to what we're doing. So there's a very limited number of them left. We've already had, photographers in place. We cut a deal with IRT streaming, LPRT streaming. So a lot of the staff was there in place of doing that. So it's not going to be as wide open as possible. Now everybody wants to create a YouTube channel. They want to do a show. They want to do interviews. They're all coming out of the woodworks with new reasons to be there. So there's going to be a very limited, and we're almost at complete capacity on those being requested. We've already turned down a number of people for doing photography on site because they all want to come out and do it, but we only can do so much. These other people that have been here for the last 4 years, supporting us, paying to do things and working with us have been there. So, it's unfortunate that it's all come to a head in the last couple of weeks, but there's a very limited amount is what I'll say. It's not completely off the table, but there's a very fine line because we are at max capacity of that. It's no different than max capacity of having an agreement with IRT and LPRT to do the streaming. They've invested money and time and energy to do this too. So it sounds unfortunate, but everybody that we requested to be involved when everything was still wide open to do it, some people chose not to be involved, and that's okay. We still want everybody to have fun and do stuff, but it's just there's only so many of the same thing we can actually provide. I know that's not really the answer you were hoping for, but as many people as we can accommodate, we will. But it's just that there has been a mass request in the last 4 days trying to figure out that was the best way to get around the rules.
Oh, one last thing. Don't forget, we got changes that came on September 29th. The governor came out on Friday and made some additional changes, made tournaments for recreational junior and adult situations available, but not until October 24th. This is a moving ball. We are trying to stay abreast of all of the changes that may come down the pike. And if things move in a more beneficial manner for our players for this tournament, certainly we're going to implement those changes to make it as great an experience as possible. But right now, these are the rules we live by. And until and unless State of Nevada makes some changes, this is how we're going to be. But we are looking forward, crossing our fingers, and hopefully there's some additional beneficial changes for our event.
Yeah, that's it for me on questions. I just wish you and your staff the best of luck. I know there's a lot of people that aren't on this call tonight that have a lot to do with the event. You mentioned Vic before. He's one of my favorite guys in outdoor racquetball. He's the guy who took over the War Champs from me in Huntington Beach, and it was the perfect moment for that. And he's the perfect guy. So I know he's a good guy on your team. And you guys, just have a great event and try to stay as stress-free as possible. MC, I've seen you stressed before, but you always fight your way through it. And you've always been great to me personally, and I really appreciate it, Peggine. We've had a lot of fun conversations and fun moments. So, it's been great talking to you guys, and you guys did a great job in explaining a lot of things that these players need to know about before they come. We're going to have 4 other guys on today, and Mike Peters, Greg Solis, Freddy Ramirez, and Brandon Davis, who are all really good personalities in the sport of outdoor. And we're going to talk about all these rookie indoor players that are coming to play some outdoor here today, like Sudsy, like
MC, I'm going to have to bite my tongue because I know they're going to try to push my button. So, just to piggyback what Ellie said, Peggine, Mike, thank you so much, the both of you. Again, I said it early on. This event that you're doing, to me, is one of the most historical events in the history of our sport. It really is. And, there's a lot, that's on your shoulders. And there's a lot of pressure on both of you and your team, to make this happen. But here's my perspective. I don't care how it happens. I don't care how many people are there. The fact that you're doing it and trying to pull this off, thank you. It's really awesome, to be able to go play racquetball, whether it's indoor or outdoor. I don't care. MC, we've done many years of indoor. We're going to do this one outdoor, and there'll be many more years of this to happen. And thank you so much. And we're going to let you go. But if you want to say anything else, Mike.
Yeah, I absolutely like to say one last thing. And then going out, I'd like to say both thank you to you, Sudsy and John, for all the positive PR you do for the sport in general. Hey, in the future, I'd like to come back on and revisit the years of the 90s when we used to do stuff at the sporting house with you guys. If you guys remember, we never really realized until we lose that. No. I mean, how phenomenal those matches were. I mean, just speaking of that, who won those matches? I know, Sudsy, you got a Pro Nationals title. John's got a Pro Nationals title. Kane was really his coming out party there against Cliff that night. If you remember, that lasted a 2.5-hour match, 11-8. So there's another complete show that we could talk about doing stuff. We never really realized what we had until we lost it. The sporting house is gone. What a phenomenal club and facility that was for pro racquetball to be played at. You guys know that was a unique court and it was fun. I mean, all the people we had jammed around there, remember how many people that couldn't even see that wanted to watch the matches, they couldn't. The same thing I got tired of following the rules of club owners. So I decided to build my own club for 2 weeks every year in the middle of the parking lot so we could all get back together and have fun. Please stay with us. All the people that stayed here this year, if next year happens, we'll have a special gift for those people that came and supported what we did this year going forward for next year, because the sport's been great to me and I've met a lot of great people throughout my whole life because of racquetball. And I appreciate your guys having us on the show to explain that. We'll get a chance to talk more, but I'd really like to revisit the 90s with all you guys and what we did at the sporting house during those years. Thank you, Sudsy, and thank you, John.
Yeah, thanks, MC. Appreciate that. That'll be fun. Can't wait.
Hey, but for everybody watching, don't leave because we're going to be right back. We're going to take a minute break real quick. Scotty Mac's going to transition, and we're going to bring in 4 players that will be in Vegas. And I know they're going to talk a lot of shit to me and tell me how, I'm not going to do good and this and that. But I'm going to give it back to them too. So MC, Peggine, if you can stay tuned and watch it and share it, thank you. And we'll be right back.
We'll see you guys.
See you,
Thanks. Have a great night.
Yeah, you too, guys. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Good job. Well, we're back, and Sudsy told me to take it from here, and you know, it has a lot to do with the fact that I asked if I could have four guys on tonight that are, you know, serious outdoor players, that are outdoor legends or on their way to being outdoor legends. You know, guys that play the game the right way, they play it great, and they're you know, they're there for the people too. Their involvement over the years has been huge in the outdoor game, and so we have Mike Peters here, Greg Solis, Baby Davis, Brandon Davis, and Freddy Ramirez representing New York, because we have plenty of California love here, but we had to get some NYC going here. So, you know, guys, first of all, thanks for being on the show. You know, this is a fun time for me. You guys don't know this, or maybe you do, but today's my birthday, and I don't really say that very often, but I wanted to have some outdoor players on for my birthday. A couple of you have texted me and said, you know, it'd be good to have, you know, some of the real guys on the show, and I agreed. And I said, yeah, no doubt. And so this was that moment. And you know, when Suds makes the announcement that he's going to go play the tournament with Alex and Kane and Ben on last weekend, what better show could we have than having some real outdoor guys on right now to talk about not only that, but your lives in outdoor racquetball in the game and what you expect out of Vegas coming up. So for first question for all of you, and, you know, maybe we go by kind of like the age here, which then puts Peters up at the front right there, right? Coming from Cabo, you know, talk a little bit about what outdoor racquetball has meant to you in your lives. And you know, what this upcoming Vegas tournament means to you with all these changes in COVID in 2020 being like it's been.
Ooh, well, first of all, I mean, I'm trying to remember. I think I started playing racquetball in '87 indoors. I moved from Oregon here, took up indoor racquetball, and then discovered the outdoor game in '95 and have loved it ever since. I've played Vegas probably 8 out of the 11 years that they've had it, and it's always just such a great time. You get a chance to play one wall, you can play paddleball, you can play racquetball. It's just an awesome opportunity to play a bunch of different divisions. And every once in a while, Freddie throws me a bone and plays with me, and that's the most fun you can ask for right there.
Yeah. Oh my God. You're too much.
Yeah. Well, what about you, Freddie? You know, what about you here following Mike there?
Yeah, man. Like, your first question's about outdoor. Well, to be totally honest, if it wasn't for outdoor, I probably wouldn't be involved in racquetball at all, because it was kind of like at those events where I started meeting like indoor players and kind of like transitioned and stuff. Yeah, I have way too much to say about outdoor, but the 3-wall ball event for me, I think it's iconic, and it's really crazy this year, because one of the things that has been brought to my mind is remembering the first year. And I remember the first year, it was a big deal because there was a lot of indoor players coming to play in this one event, because it was kind of like a mixed event and it was new, right? Portable courts, all this stuff. So you had guys like in the IRT kind of like coming out. You had the guys from Cali coming out, everybody. It was just crazy. So this year, with all the IRT guys coming out, I think it's great. I think it's, you know, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun.
Greg Solis?
As far as outdoors goes, I mean, that's always been my first and foremost game. I've always loved it. I've been playing it for over 20 years, 25 years, I think, just about.
Yeah.
And but I mean, I've also equally played as much as indoors. I started outdoors, but throughout my whole career, there's always been an indoor-outdoor game. And as far as like hybrids go, I got to be one of the first actual hybrid players that there is. I mean, nowadays it's both indoors and outdoors. Most people actually play, but back in the day, I was always, anytime that anyone from indoors found out that I played out there, oh, you play outdoor? How's outdoor? I've never played outdoor before. So it was just it was kind of a big thing. But a lot of players always said that outdoor would always hurt my indoor game. And I just never believed that. I never once believed that. I thought if anything, it would help my indoor game. So I always played outdoor throughout my whole career. I continue to love it. It's my favorite thing in the world. So as far as the tournament goes, I've played every single year, and I've always enjoyed it. It's definitely the way I look at the Vegas tournament as compared to other tournaments, either down here or down in Florida or down in New York. It's kind of like tennis in that way, where you play on different surfaces. These are different courts. Your games change. It's a different game than playing on the big courts at Marina or the one-wall courts in Florida or New York. That's always been the biggest thing to me, that if you can just be a person that plays all of them and dominate in all of them, then you're a good player. You know the game of outdoors. And I don't think anyone's ever done that. Dominated in all territories. 1 wall, 3 wall, Vegas, Florida. It's hard. There's someone that hasn't won a particular tournament. And
yeah, I think that goes back all the way towards, you know, to Brumfield and Hogan. I know it was difficult for them during that time to be able to win at all 3 types of racquetball. So you're absolutely right about that. And there's been plenty of indoor guys that have given it a go, and some outdoor first guys like a Brian Hawks, who definitely played his years on the tour, won a pro stop, who gave it a go as well. But to dominate, it's very difficult to do. Brandon, before you answer, I want to set that up by saying, you know, look, I was running the War Champs for the first year I ran it. I bring 14-year-old Jose Diaz down, and all of a sudden the B singles finals becomes the match of the tournament for me, which is Diaz versus about an 18 or 19-year-old Brandon Davis, who was constantly walking by the desk, cracking me up that whole tournament. And so, you know, for me, that was when you arrived for me. I know it's been, you know, outdoors been in your life. So talk a little bit about that.
That first tournament, that was the first year he came out, right? So
Right.
that means I was 17, probably 2007. Court 4, sun, 4 o'clock afternoon, sun, you know, just the worst time to play. And it was Diaz, and we battled. I think he might have beat me in 2.
No, I think it was 3. It was a tiebreaker, and it was all of it too. It was an awesome match.
Yeah, it was. I remember that. That was one of the coming outs of.
Is that when Diaz had like the dreadlocks and the skateboard and like?
That was before Diaz grew the long hair out.
Yeah, this is
rocked that look.
He was running.
It was before that.
Yeah.
He was running like an XL shirt that he couldn't fit in. You know, his shorts were almost touching the ground, but he was smoking balls, and it was
the entertainment value between the two of you just playing that match was, you know, you could see you were both enjoying that you were competing against each other on that Sunday, and that was what was really special about that. But what do you think about Vegas, Brandon?
Vegas, I tell myself every year it's going to be a tough one to get to. But it shouldn't be, because we're in California. But every time I go, it's always the right choice, because not only are you just playing ball, you know, if you're out of the tournament, you're still in Vegas. And if you can't have fun in Vegas, then I don't know what you're really doing there. I mean, there's too many things to do out there. You know, racquetball it's not a footnote, but it's a nice bonus. So.
You know, before we have Sudsy start asking a couple questions here, because I'm sure he's got some ready to go. You know, and before we start talking about these indoor players that are coming to play, let's talk about, you know, how you guys would advise new indoor players coming to play outdoor for the first time on the Vegas courts, or like, you know, if they were to come to HB for the War Champs next year in 2021, assuming it goes, you know, those courts are a little longer and different. So.
Did you lose him, Greg?
I think Ellie's freezing. Is that Ellie freezing?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
All right, so I'll jump in right here, right now, and say this is awesome, because I feel like I'm surrounded by legends as I wear Jake's legendary DMC shirt.
Thank you. Thank you. Wow.
You know, everybody for years is like, you know, you got to go play outdoors. You got to go play outdoors, and I'm like, you know, yeah, I will one day. And I think I did it like once or twice, but, you know, so Mike, I'm going to ask you, the veteran, you know, what advice would you give me as a true indoor player going to play Vegas?
First of all, I'm just happy to say I can do a screenshot of you saying I'm with a bunch. Sudsy Monchik just said he's with a bunch of legends.
You are a legend.
Screenshot that.
You guys are legends. All of you.
So what I would say to you or any other pro coming out there for the first time or brand new is, one, try to get on the court and learn some of the angles. Don't think you have to hit everything low. It's tough. Sometimes it's tough to put a ball away out there, especially the way the wood is very inconsistent. Learn the deep 2 walls, the high 2 walls, and then try to find someone you can pick their brain. Try to find a veteran, probably not me, but
that's what I'm doing. I'm picking the 4 veteran legends.
Okay, well, I'd go with 2 things for Vegas: high 2 wall, where you're gonna hit the front wall and then the side wall next.
Hey, easy. He's in the pro draw.
Bring it.
Come on.
I want it. Go.
Sudsy, do a high 2-wall where you hit the sidewall first.
You can't give away all the secrets.
Let's say you're on the left side, you hit a high 2-wall into the right side wall. It's going to hit the front wall and go out the door. If your opponent retrieves it, it would even be a setup for me.
But in Mike's case, he just tells Daniel to, poach over and take the forehand.
What? Hey, oh God, where's that dagger in my bag? Hang on. Okay.
Yeah, you cover your 3 feet there and let me take everything.
No, but seriously, like one of the issues that I know I've had when I've been on the court is my power, because I feel like when I hit the ball, and I know, like we say, like bad indoor shots are good outdoor shots. So I'm going to hit it like 2 or 3 feet high, but sometimes I'm blasting the ball like, and I'm like, oh, that's perfect. And then it goes out. So, the parts of the game, right? So Greg, I'm going to ask you, but I want Brandon, I want you to answer, and Freddie, of course, all of you. To me, the serve is so important. Would you guys agree with that? Like the serve is vital?
Rule 1, get your serve in.
Get your serve in. Absolutely. Doesn't have to be spectacular.
And unless you're going for like ace serves, there's absolutely no excuse. I mean, get your overhand in. Those courts are big. It's not like a small court. Get your overhands in, be consistent, and let them shoot from the back. As long as you have good position, just get the serve in. That's pretty important.
That's number 1.
Yeah, because I feel like, like a lot of times I'm going to fight my natural instinct, which I forgot who said it, but like to hit the ball low, right? Greg, you play a lot of indoor and outdoor too. So should I fight that instinct, or if I feel I have the setup, should I just go for it? Did you guys hear that?
Greg? You talking to Greg?
I heard it. Yeah, I didn't hear Greg though.
I'm having real bad audio right now.
Go ahead, Mike. Mike, if you heard me, go ahead.
So I would say, believe it or not, I would say go for it on the pinches and the reverse pinches, anything with the sidewall. Straight in, you're going to get some funny bounces. It's maybe it's just easy. Sure. Maybe it's easy for me to skip it out there, but I mean, you're taking your chances if you're just going to go, it's like hit or miss. Go for the sidewall shots and go 100% on those.
Well, but Brandon, I know you rip the shit out of the ball too. You like how I could say that because it's like a PG-13 art show. Sorry about that, Freddie, but I know, Brandon, I know you crush it. Greg, I know you crush it. Does the power help if we can hit it, where it's like if I'm mentally saying, all right, I'm going to rip this ball at your feet as opposed to try to roll it. I'm going to hit it, where I think Kane's going to do that too. His skills are good enough with the racket and ball that he's going to be able to do kind of what he wants with the ball when he wants. Would you say that that's just as effective as rolling the ball out, or tell me?
I would definitely say, I would say so.
Roll the ball out.
Yeah, don't be shy with going with the shots. It's all about position. Now, if you're taking that shot from way in the back court, you're going to get where you're going to get, right? But if you're in the front, you're going to want to swing away. And, like I come from the one wall set, right? So everything that Peter said is kind of like opposite to me. I believe in hitting it straight, right? You just don't want to hit it where you're going to hit it in their wheelhouse, right? So their wheelhouse is going to be like low, or, anything like from the waist down. You hit somebody low and they're in front of you, you get what you get, right? But you can still whack. If you're in the front, you're going for shots.
Absolutely. Or if you want to, be flashy, go for the deep 2-wall angle. You could still rip because you could hit the front wall as hard as you want, and as long as it hits the sidewall, it's a good chance it could stay in, unless you're hitting it 5-6 feet high and then it's just going to sail. But I would say kill the ball, roll the ball. If you could roll the ball, if you got the setup, roll the ball.
Ellie, do we have you back, Ellie?
No.
All right, I don't know what's up with Ellie's internet connection. This is strange right now. I'm seeing some different things right now, so sorry about that, guys.
My audio is real messed up.
Mine's all good.
Yeah, the guy's in freaking Cabo and he's chilling.
Cabo.
What's going on with you guys?
Ellie, do we have you back?
Guys, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear Ellie.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on either.
So
It's
you're
like an
kind of-
apparition.
Yeah, you guys are all going kind of in and out on me. and freezing on me, and I'm not sure what's going on. My internet seems like it's
Could
stable.
be.
You guys seem like you can hear me now, maybe?
Are
Yeah.
you an
Same with
Ecuador?
mine.
You're coming
Maybe
back.
I can
you're
hear
an-
you.
You're coming back.
Sudsy, you got to rock with it, Sudsy. I'm going to try to figure this out for a second, buddy.
Hey, Sudsy, apparently the best reception is in South America and Mexico. Who would have thought?
Listen, hey, Peters, I know you travel more than all of us. When are you coming to visit?
I will be in New York. I'm going to say within the next 5 months. I'm just waiting until my wife takes me there. Ooh, look
Yeah,
at
but
this.
I'm
My
not.
wife
I'm not in New York right now. What do you mean? I'm down in.
Oh, yeah.
Ecuador.
Oh, I got to come down to Ecuador. Oh, good point. We'll put that on the schedule. I'll work on it.
All right, so let's get, because we're having obviously some issues here with Ellie, which I don't like. All right, Brandon, I'm going to you first. I want to know right now who your pick is to win the pro outdoor doubles.
Outside from me and my partner, obviously, you got to be number one. I think you got to go with the hot hand with DLR and Albie.
Greg?
I think actually it's going to be Kane and Ben. I
Freddy?
think they're. Can you hear me?
Yeah. You know, like never would I ever say like Kane's not going to win a tournament. But it's his first time. So if I had to put money down, DLR and Alvi, I mean, they just have been playing really that long. But I don't, I haven't seen the draw, how deep the draw is. But right now, if I had to call it, that's kind of how I would call it.
Mike, what do you got? What do you think?
How can I go against my former partner and my current partner? Maybe I am a legend. They're playing with me. I'm kidding. I'm gonna go with Al. Do you like that, Brandon? I'm gonna go with Alvaro and DLR2. I hope if it's not me and Patrick Allen in the final, I hope it's Kane and Ben against Alvaro. Sorry, Brandon, against Alvaro and Daniel. But I think Alvaro and Daniel will take them. I have faith.
Listen, I just want to thank you all because obviously Alex and I have no chance at all, which thank you so much for that. And now we have Ellie back. It looks like full steam. So Ellie, you want to jump in here?
Yeah, I've kind of missed where you guys were at. I know you took over and got some advisement on what shots you should hit, and I heard Mike describing some good ideas to you. They all seem to include, ripping balls high, which is going to be a little abnormal for you. And I thought I heard maybe kind of saying, don't talk about that stuff. But I'm sure you just asked this because you were talking about the event and everything, but from a racquetball standpoint, what does it mean to you guys as outdoor guys to have guys like Kane and Sudsy and Alex, who's number 2 in the world right now, Ben, who, let's face it, Ben's a great outdoor player. You guys have probably all played against Ben like I have on the doubles court, and he's a tremendous outdoor player. But what's it mean to have these indoor guys want to come to your world, to the outdoor world, and mix it up with the best of the outdoors?
It's I got to say it's awesome. When Cliff first came out, I remember him coming out and I'm on the court practicing with Cliff and Marty and just thinking this is like Nirvana. So it's unbelievable having those guys. Jack Cusack, Shane Vanderson, when they came, I think they were played together the first year in Vegas, and I think they lost in the semifinals. So it was, anytime you can have pros out there, not only is it awesome for the sport, but it's more fun when you beat them with loss. But yeah, it's awesome. I love it. I mean, and to have Kane out there is unbelievable. I mean, I'm sure people made plans to come out there just to see what he would do. I am a little curious what happened though, because I think Jason Menino sounded very confident that he was going to be playing with Kane at Vegas. So I would love to get a little behind the music on that one, but I don't know if you guys know anything. Sudsy, he's your buddy.
I think Jay just said that, him and Kane and Ben were, obviously partners, and Jason said if needed to be ready, he would be. And I can text him, Mike, if you want. I'll bring him in the show real quick.
Yeah, bring him in. Bring him in. Bring Jason in.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, send him a text.
Ellie, are you okay? Ellie, can you?
Mike Peters!
Keep it down. Sorry, guys. My groupies. I said you got a way better background than I do. I don't think you can even.
She's out of control.
There's ocean there somewhere. I don't know where, but Sudsy, you got us beat.
I think we're losing.
losing Mike.
Yeah, kick that guy out of this thing.
We're
You guys having
losing.
too much
Okay,
fun.
See,
Okay.
this is what happens when you bring in the outdoor crew.
Jesus, it's out of control, huh? Hey,
Guys,
can I
this-
say one
this
other
right
thing
now for
about
a second?
Jason?
Sure.
I mean,
Sure.
and that, I mean, obviously I must be in Jason's head somehow, but I'm sure all my buddies here that are on would support me. So I just want to dispel two rumors that Jason, give me a minute, honey. Two rumors that Jason talked about when he talked to you guys. And I have not, I like Jason. For whatever reason, I don't know if he's ever really liked me, but one of his comments was that we all play for 7, 8, 9 hours a day for 30 years. I'm lucky because I have a beautiful wife. I'm lucky if I get to go play twice a week, and I do it for fun. So that's one point. So, and then Jason said, well, it was the first time he ever got out there and they lost in the final by 1 point. It was more than 1 point, and that's fine. But it was his third. He's been okay. Okay. I just want to say we beat him in the semis 1 year. We beat him in the semis next year, and we beat him in the finals next year. So it was 3 years in a row, and that may be why why I bother him. But Jason, I just want you to know I love you. I just want to straighten those two things out. Brandon, time to back me up.
I'm there. I got you, buddy.
Yeah.
I got you.
I got you.
I played with Jason 1 year at 3-wall. We did well. We went out. We lost to like a really good team in like the quarters or something like that. That guy can play.
Jason's a great player. Oh, I'm
That
not
guy
saying he's
can
not a
play.
good player.
He can play.
Absolutely.
All I know is that we're definitely, we have like some technical issues right now. It's not personal issues, but I know Ellie's jumping in and out.
Okay.
I know there's like Greg, I can't
Sure.
hear you. Brandon, thank you, by the way, because you've been on your best behavior and everything's perfect. Appreciate
Wow.
that. But
Winners win.
listen, we're nobody move because we do have a quick special presentation. Scotty Mac, can you make that happen? Is that possible?
John Bruce, happy birthday. Hope you had a great day with the family. And just a little reminder, I believe you're 48 today, and it means you're older than me, and that's all that matters. So have a good one.
This time tomorrow we'll be on the road.
Hey, Allie Sweens. Want to take a minute? Wish you happy birthday. Whatever number you are, you make it look good. Cheers.
I wouldn't want it any other way. Taking the good with the ups and downs. I wanna see how the world turns round. Let's go adventure in the deep blue sea. Home is with you wherever that may be. Home is with you wherever that may be.
Ellie, happy birthday, buddy.
John Bruce, happy.
All right, so now everybody knows. Sorry about the technical difficulties. You know, there were some issues. Hopefully you just witnessed that awesome video that Veronica just put together. And Ellie, I know you didn't really get to see it, so I know you'll watch it. I just texted to you. And happy birthday, buddy. It is your birthday. So before you answer that, you know, you asked me many times offline, don't mention it. But I did tell you, I said, there's no chance I'm not going to mention it's your birthday. We're friends for almost our entire life. It's your birthday.
Yeah.
Happy birthday. You know, like, you're taking the time to do this show. It's an important show. It's for racquetball. You are racquetball, and thank you, buddy. This is really cool.
Yeah, I'm very sorry about the technical difficulties I had here. I'm not sure what's happened here. It's almost like Zoom wanted me to update everything right now, and I'm not sure what happened. I just was going in and out there, but I had a lot of questions for those guys about not only about the draw and the new players coming in, which I know you guys touched on, but a little bit about their thoughts on what they heard from Peggine and Mike as well, because that's really the serious topic that we're talking about today. The fun stuff is in the draws, and we'll see those in a week, and we'll talk about those next week. As far as the birthday thing, well, yours is October 12th. You'll be 46 here in a couple days, in a week or so. And that's one other thing that we've always been connected by. We have these October birthdays. We're Libras. We're always celebrating our days right around each other. And so that's a lot of fun for us to have that connection. And thanks for putting it out there. My dad kind of did that to me earlier today with a sweet Facebook post and throw some old pictures of myself as a baby and coming up through the years. And so, it's just one of those things that I feel like, I was raised to. If people take time out to really wish you something that's on your day or something that you did that's really important in your life, and birthdays are those, obviously. And I feel like I got to respond directly to every single person instead of the standard, hey, thanks everybody for the birthday wishes. So it's difficult. So I removed it a couple years ago with the hopes that I don't have to spend that 2 days doing that type of stuff. But I know it's selfish to my parents to do that because I'm their only child and they're proud of me still at 48 years old, even though, I'm hopefully halfway through life here, or, just getting older. And so, it's crazy to get older like this and still feel like you're in your early 20s or teenagers. You know exactly what I'm talking about because you're living such a young lifestyle right now. So, hey.
Can you get on the Facebook Live real quick?
I can try, buddy. It's let me give it a go here.
Yeah, I want you to get on because Scotty Mac's gonna play it for you again.
Okay, I'm on it right now.
All right.
And if you play it again, I'll be able to see it.
Scotty Mac, can you, Ellie? I can't.
John Bruce, happy birthday. Hope you had a great day with the family. And just a little reminder, I believe you're 48 today, and it means you're older than me, and that's all that matters. So have a good one.
This time tomorrow we'll be on the road.
Hey, Allie Sweens. Want to take a minute? Wish you happy birthday. Whatever number you are, you make it look good. Cheers.
I wouldn't want it any other way. Taking the good with the ups and downs. I wanna see how the world turns round. Let's go adventure in the deep blue sea. Home is with you wherever that may be. Home is with you wherever that may be.
Ellie, happy birthday, buddy.
All right, Ellie. Well, Scotty Mac, feel free to come in here. It's Ellie's birthday. And Ellie, that was for you. It's your day, buddy. So
Yeah, a big thank you. Did you say Vero put that together?
she did.
Yeah, give her a big hug, big kiss from us. We feel very special to have played a small role in her life here when she spent a couple of years here in Stockton developing a racquetball game, just growing up. And so we're lucky we got to see a lot of that. I got to see it firsthand since she lived with my parents for a while. So tell her thank you very much. We miss seeing her as often as we did for little while there. And, you know, those were special moments. There's a lot of great photos. One of those was you jumping about 10 feet in the air to get out of the way of a bomb I was hitting underneath your feet in a semifinals in Phoenix in 1993. And that's such a long time ago now. It just feels so crazy that that was 27 years ago, because, you know, it's one of my top 5 favorite matches of all time, because the intensity on that court, we were so young and raw at that point that we were just trying to absolutely smash the ball every time possible. I think I broke like 6 strings in that match. So those are great memories, and I appreciate that, you know, and we'll do it again here in a few days for your birthday. And, you know, again, sorry about the difficulties. That's the second time for me now with the heat flash we had about a month ago. And so, you know, bummer, I'll have to clean that up again. And I was really looking forward to that conversation with those guys, because, you know, even though they can be some misfits, they're really knowledgeable with outdoor racquetball. And so I encourage everyone out there to watch them play, you know, all 4 of those guys. And obviously, you know, have the opportunity, whether it's online or if you sneak it in person, to watch Sudsy Monchik play outdoor racquetball in a real tournament here for the first time, I think, in your life, right, Suds?
Yeah, pretty much.
So, you know, what a moment for you. What a moment for the sport of racquetball. Not only is it Kane being out there, who's, you know, obviously he's the number 1 right now, but you're on the mountaintop as well. So, you know, that's special to have both of you, both number 1s, to have a Marty Hogan still playing there. Unfortunately, I don't think Cliff's playing this year, but, you know, that's almost the Mount Rushmore of racquetball right there, all at one tournament with different ages around them all, you know. So, you know, what a special moment that'll be for those that get to watch, whether in person or online. And I look forward to tuning in. And I want to say thanks to the LPRT and the IRT for their broadcasts that they'll bring. And, you know, we'll be glued here, because it's what a moment it will be. And you know, you said it great. This is one of the most important tournaments of all time in racquetball.
Any chance you come?
Yeah, probably not this year, just because of all the things going on. You know, I'd be fearful of not getting in to see the matches. And you know, I got a son who's 18, who's not at college right now because of COVID, and who's home with us, and my daughter at 12. You know, they made the junior national team, and we're working hard to be prepared for that event if it does go. And that'll be something we talk about here in the next couple of weeks. But, you know, I'm here right now. I made a promise to myself about 10 years ago that I'm going to spend about 10 years not traveling for racket sports. Racquetball, obviously, now a little bit of pickleball in my life. Is every show I got to get it in just a little bit. But, you know, and that's coming. My 10 years are coming here in 2. When I hit 50, there's some divisions I want to play in the 50+ category. And I want to see who at 50 is going to have something for me, because I'm going to have something for them at 50. I'm going to be fast at that age. And I'm going to be smarter than I've ever been when it comes to racket sports. And on top of it, and this is probably the most important thing, so I'm not going to really care too much about the result. Like, I'll leave the moment I leave the court. There'll be a little bit of disappointment if I were to go down in the future. But honestly, I'll be okay. I've come to terms with my racquetball life quite a while ago. I'm never going to swing a forehand like I used to. I'm never going to hit a backhand like I used to. The arm won't let me right now. So you find the beauty and the love for it in other ways. And you know, when I'm in my emotional voice, it starts to crack a little bit, right? But that's the reality. And if you can't find it, then it hurts, because then you got to let it go. You got to let something that you love go. And I can't do that. So I'll just be happy with what I got. I get to be around my parents a lot with it, and I get to be around my kids in racquetball. So, I mean, you know, it's all good.
Ellie, I want to offer some appreciations. I just I gotten to know you more through this stream, I think, than anything before that. And I think I get that you're like really dedicated and very knowledgeable about the sport. You seem to care a ton about growing people around it, spreading the word around it, like connecting with the community, building the community around it. So I'm just appreciating your zest, your love for the game. I think
same for you, Scotty Mac. And you got a tough job.
You don't get to deflect it. You don't get to deflect it. You just get to say, all right, thank you.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Good to get to know you as well through the show. It's been great to get to know you, and in person we'll see each other soon enough, and we'll enjoy that moment as well.
Yeah. We get to talk about that in March.
What's the rest of the night for you entail with the family?
Yeah, so you're going to not tell me, you're not going to ruin this part for me here by telling me any scores of any basketball game or any football game, because I'll probably stay up to about 3 in the morning watching basketball and football because, you know, some don't want to watch that stuff right now for whatever political, personal reason they may have. That's not me, and it's not political. I truly love sports. Like, I'm obsessed with sports my entire life, and I'm going to go watch the 49ers, who I dislike. I'm a Rams fan. I'm going to go watch that game anyways. I'm going to watch the Lakers and the Heat. I'm definitely pulling for the Heat to win game 3 tonight. Don't make any facial expressions. You know, and it's just, that's what I'm going to do for the rest of the night. I'm going to enjoy that. Maybe my wife hangs with me for a little while. We have the week off from school, so I'm going to, you know, I'll be up at 6 in the morning getting ready for my 8 a.m. pickleball class, and then I'm going to hopefully hit some racquetballs with Julius and Jordan tomorrow on the outdoor courts at our club, and, you know, I'm going to probably take it to them pretty good. That's what's going to go down this week, and we're going to play some racquetball this week, and you know, it'll feel weird because it'll feel, I bet it'll feel like I'm preparing for a Las Vegas event that I'm not going to attend this year. But, you know, in a couple of years, Sudsy, there's going to be that moment where you and I actually play a doubles tournament together. And I look forward to that as well at some point.
Are you recording
It's
this?
recorded. It's
We're
recorded.
going to play together.
Captured forever.
I'll be saying you a whole bunch, as I would anyways, but I'll be saying you a whole hell of a lot because I'm pretty good at hitting ceiling balls these days. That's about it. Maybe a good lobster down line, but that's about it. You can take that back in the middle.
What are we playing? Outdoor?
Ceiling
Yeah,
balls,
we'll play.
yeah.
You know, we'll play whatever makes the most sense. Whether it's a Memphis, Memphis. That's where my heart's at still. That's where it is, everybody. That's where it is.
Same. I'm
yeah,
guilty.
whether it's outdoor or Minneapolis, you know, or somewhere in between, you know, it'll be that moment. Maybe it'll be a in-house tournament in Cuenca, Ecuador at the country club.
Well, Ellie, as the video started, it's your day. You know, this was a cool show. It's our 13th show, but I love you, buddy. This is your day. It's your birthday. You know, happy birthday to you. And thank you for everything that, you know, you do and have done for racquetball and the friends you've been to me. And, you know, I if I keep going, I'll get emotional too. And, you know, for the record, because I don't mind saying this, when Veronica and Veronica put it together, the whole video, we were crying. We had tears. So, and I know you get emotional. So everybody, hey,
yeah,
you know, that's it. We're going to get out of here. And Scotty Mac, we're going to get out of here in a second, but enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy every moment because you never know when it's over. Just like that. So, Ellie, happy birthday, buddy. Love you.
Thanks,
Scotty
buddy.
Mac, thank you. All you racquetball players, enjoy, and we hope to see you in Vegas. And if we don't see you in Vegas, you better follow it. You better watch it because you love racquetball just like we do, indoor, outdoor, handball. Spread it, share it, be part of it. We will see you next week. And guess what? We're not telling you who the guests are. So wait till next week.
Never do. We never do.
Good night from all of us at Beyond the Court. Beyond the Court is Scotty Mac, John Ellis, my wife Veronica, and myself. We'll see you next week. Thank you.
All right, everybody. So here's the deal. We got an awesome contest going on. Whether you're going to be in Vegas or not, whether you're competing or not, here's a chance to win $1,000. It's pretty simple. Here are the rules. First, download the app. Second, subscribe to the members only exclusive section. Third, pick the 5 winners of these divisions. Get all 5 right, you win $1,000. There will be a tiebreaker just in case. And of course, we wish you luck. This is a good chance for you to win $1,000.